Welcome back to Tito's World. Well, today I want to talk more about The Mandalorian. This time it's episode 7. And what do I want to start with? Well, let's see. Well, first off, this episode was written by Jon Favreau and it was directed by Deborah Chow. And I'd like to say about Deborah Chow, this is not the first episode that she has directed. She had an earlier one in this season. I can't remember which episode it was, but that episode up until then was the best episode, and this episode tonight is even better. So I'm thinking Deborah Chow is a great director. Of course, Jon Favreau didn't hurt in the writing department either. These things are really getting better as time goes on, and I hope that continues. So let's move on. This one was titled "The Prisoner," and it starts out. The Mandalorian is in his ship, and he's going somewhere. He receives a hollow message from Grief Karga. You remember him? That's Carl Weathers' character. He was the bounty broker back on, I think the planet is Nova. Anyway, he sends him a message, and he's offering a deal that if he'll come help him with a job, then he can work out a deal where they'll clear his name and people won't hunt him anymore. And that's too good a deal for the Mandalorian to pass up. So what he does, though, is he contacts Cara Dune and Quill, two characters from earlier episodes, and he convinces them both to join him. And then Quill has he's gotten that IG-11 droid that was killed earlier when the Yoda creature was taken from the people who are holding him. And so Quill got a hold of him, completely stripped him down and rebuilt him and reprogrammed him. And he brings him along too, which the Mandalorian is not very happy about because he just absolutely hates droids. But he comes along. When they get to the planet, though, he has to stay in the ship. The Mandalorian does not want to depend on him. So anyway, they're to meet Karga's group. He brings us a few folks along too, most of them hunters. And they meet in the desert out there in the lava fields. And they're going to walk in to avoid attracting attention. So they leave the ship behind. They walk about halfway in. It's the middle of the night. So they decide to camp and they're going to enter the town in the morning. So they do that, and during the night, their camp is attacked by some creatures that to me they look like pterodactyls, but other people have commented that they thought they were large bats. Whatever they were venomous and very deadly. And Karga gets badly wounded, and he's poisoned, and he's dying. And the child, he gets down out of his little carriage, and he walks over to where Karga's laying on the ground, and he puts his hands on him, and it looked to me like he removed the venom from his blood. I'm not sure exactly what he did, but anyway, Karga suddenly is no longer poisoned, and he's getting better. He's well, and that was amazing. Yeah, people have commented that on other reviews. Some people think that that was the purpose, that they moved this episode up 2 days from Friday to Wednesday, is because they wanted to establish that force healing is a thing. I don't know if that's something they needed to establish or not. I've heard that that's something that was in Legends. So I don't know. But anyway, that's what happened in this episode. There was another thing that Yoda did, or that well, shoot. So I'm trying to avoid too many spoilers. I include spoilers in my reviews, and I try to make things vague, and I leave things out so I don't spoil everything. But anyway, this I think I'm going to mention. There's a part in this where Cara Dune and the Mandalorian are uh, sitting. They're having a little arm wrestle competition, and he's starting to lose. And the Yoda creature's watching this happen, and he raises his hand and he starts to force choke Cara Dune. And when he realizes, when Mandalorian realizes that she can't breathe, and she looks over and notices that Yoda is the Yoda creature's got his hand out like that, he suddenly understands what's happening, and he makes him stop. But that was, to me, it was kind of funny, but when you think about it, it's kind of sinister too, because he shouldn't be having that skill. That's like a Sith skill. Force choking is something the Sith do. You don't see Jedi do that. So anyway, that happened. The next morning, they make the trek into the town, and just before they get to town, Karga suddenly stops. He turns around and he starts firing on his own hunters, and he kills them all. It's a little firefight, and they're all dead. And then he turns to the Mandalorian and explains that the plan was they were supposed to take him, the Mandalorian, and the child into town and turn them over to the Empire, to the client. But he said after the child healed him, he couldn't do that. So that's why he suddenly stopped them before they entered the town. They talked about real quickly, and they made a new plan, and they decided they were going to continue on in and then kill the client, which was the deal that he had made with him originally. They weren't really going to do that deal, but now I guess they are going to try to do it. So they move into town, and they meet with the client, and suddenly everything goes sideways. A bunch of death troopers show up outside the building, and they fire up on the building, and a big troop battalion come in, stormtroopers, and it's just a wild firefight. And that's where the episode ends. To be continued next episode. So there was a cliffhanger. We don't know what's going to happen next. And that was really, actually, this episode was pretty exciting. There was it wasn't boring. There was a lot going on with the creature attack in the night, and then the firefight outside of town, and this firefight that's going on after they arrived in town. It's fast paced. One bad thing though is that Quill was left at the ship, and he took the. Actually, he wasn't left at the ship. He was there during that attack in the night, and he was there during the shootout in the morning. And when they made the new plan to go in after the client, that's when they took the Yoda creature. Quill took it, and he's going to protect the Yoda creature inside the ship. So he goes back. And when everything goes sideways, the Mandalorian radios to him to get back to the ship quickly. And when the stormtroopers intercept that radio signal, they realize where the child is, and they jump on their speeder bikes, the two of them, two of the, what do they call them? Storm scouts or trooper scouts? Scout troopers. I think scout troopers. And they start pursuing Quill, who's on one of those, can't think the name they used. They brought three of them, those big fish-looking land animals they were riding on Quill's planet. So though they're running back to the ship as quickly as they can, the speeder bikes are gaining on them. They don't make it to the ship. Quill's dead. He gets shot and he's dead. And they the scout troopers, they take the child, the Yoda creature. So that's where things leave. The cliffhanger was well done. I sure as heck did not want the episode to end at that point. So have to wait till another week to find out what happens. And that's going to be the final episode. And another thing, I think that's the episode that Taika Waititi is supposed to direct. So we'll see what he does with it. I hope he doesn't crap all over it. I don't think they're going to let him do that. I think they're trying to keep some viewers in this thing. And, the film's just... The episode 9 is supposed to come out tomorrow. Some people have seen it on the 19th today, but it's supposed to hit the theaters tomorrow. And it's I think it's gonna crash. You look right now at the early reviews from the critics. A lot of the critics hate this movie. They're only got a 53, I think, on Metacritic, and it's pretty similar on Rotten Tomatoes. Rotten Tomatoes has got it as certified rotten. So, Disney, what you gonna do about that? Yeah. I'm thinking that it might be a good idea if Disney didn't try to make any more films for a while. So we'll see. I don't know what's going to happen, but if they do start making films, I hope they just decided that these films are not canon, and they start over and they make a new trilogy that actually makes sense. If they would do that, I might consider, going to the theater and seeing their films again. I haven't been wanting to do that for quite a while now. So I'm watching Mandalorian, but it's only because I can watch it for free. I'm not ready to give Disney my money yet. I don't know if that's going to be the same in the future or not. But if they change their attitude towards their fans, if they start putting out quality product, I could be swayed. I certainly do like The Mandalorian. It's not the best TV show I've ever seen, but it's the best thing that Disney's put out under the Star Wars label since Rogue One. I thought Rogue One was a really good movie. And The Force Awakens wasn't terrible. It wasn't great. There were some things I didn't like, but there were some possibilities there. It had some potential to be the base of a good trilogy, but that was not to be. Anyway, that's all I wanted to say about this episode. I don't know how long I've gone. Let me take a look real quick. Oh, I'm up to 15 minutes already. So yeah, this is time to end this. Don't want it to be long-winded. It's longer than I usually make a video. So y'all, if you get a chance, see the episode 7, The Mandalorian. I don't think you'll be disappointed. This series gets better as it goes along. A couple of the episodes earlier were just filler episodes that weren't that great, but this one is good. Deborah Chow's episodes are good. So we'll see how things progress in the future. Until next time, y'all take care and be good to each other. Bye-bye.